God, I kind of wish, actually. 26 feels old, man.
Oh, dude, wait till you get to 30. That's when it all changes.
Oh, dear.
Either way, let's get into it. It's AVANGAR versus G2. It's a 2-1 game. One of these teams will be making their way towards the final 8 of the tournament. We have got G2 on the CT side. A strong map for them, but it's had mixed results. We'll see AVANGAR make their way up towards long, and Lucky is first to receive contact.
Yeah, Lucky's going to tuck himself in towards Elevator, and actually just managed to keep a couple at bay, and Dren wins that duel quite nicely on the second peak. And speaking of peak, 3 of them all winning their fight. AVANGAR with the bomb down, locks the French out early. And, you know, the conversation the desk started, I think, is actually very, very important to bear in mind coming into such a crucial game. A spot in the Mercedes-Benz Arena on the line, and G2, there is precedent set that this team can have an exceptional T side, but somewhat flounder on the defense. Yeah,
their defense hasn't looked fantastic here, especially on Dust 2. Remember against Mousegolf when they had that fantastic start, their T side, they snowballed out of control, 11-4. They were looking so good, and then their CT side, that's where they floundered. That's where Shoxy was making questionable decisions, pushing those doors towards the lower B area, getting caught out. Kenny S, it's rare to say he doesn't come online on Dust 2 as well. He was absent. It was kind of strange how they looked so strong in the first half and completely shrunk for the second. They have lost a pistol here, however, and it looks like we've got a small technical issue. It allows us to explore all of these storylines. And there's James, the main protagonist from yesterday's victory over Liquid. That was fantastic.
Can I ask for you to throw your 2 cents into the whole James saving his AWP meme? Because I actually think there's an interesting dialogue I caught on Twitter. It was between fans, and I saw them talking, and you know, one of them was dropping the meme, the other responded saying, you know, he is a star AWPer, and we're seeing more and more examples of people desperately trying to A, preserve the AWP, B, you know, financially ensure the AWP's in people's hands. He's doing a bit of both, trying to find that balance between being able to save that AWP, win rounds on his back, on his own, with that weapon.
Absolutely. He is instrumental to their success, absolutely true. And overall, you look at Fallen's game yesterday, Inferno, right? They lost their CT half 11-4, and he only died 6 times, right? And he died in the pistol, had a few ecos in there. He was saving the AWP a lot because it's a high impact weapon.
It is.
You do need it at all times. He's their star player for sure, and hopefully he can step up today against the likes of Kenny S. I want them both to come online, especially on Dust 2.
No, certainly. And if I was to kind of, you know, point names towards the G2 side of things as well, actually, excuse me, away from the G2 side of things, Sanji, loved watching him play, and actually I think he's a great example of a player delivering without necessarily all of the bells and whistles that his team...
He's one of the most selfless individuals I've seen. He has the Mac 10, sometimes no armor, when his team are fully equipped, and James will get the AWP. Just to know, no one's died for AVANGAR yet. They've all got 1 kill, a clean team ace there. You don't see that too often.
Ooh, lovely. Perfect distribution. Everything balanced as it should be.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Thanos would be proud.
I haven't seen it, but I'm sure.
You can just say, nice one, Alex.
Hey, great reference,
Pop
Alex.
culture. That was a movie recently.
It's a bit too popular for me.
It is. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Henry G, the man who's only seen 1 episode of Game of Thrones, and it's the last one.
Let's not upset everyone on the internet.
You're right, excuse me.
3 scouts, though. Force 5 for G2, and Amanek will be flashing in towards Jax here. There's always a chance these rounds work out. We've seen plenty of them before. The scouts need to find damage, though. They need to set these deagles up, and there's the first tag, unfortunately, for G2. They're the ones to receive it.
Yeah, pushing in now. They want to try and get Buster to, well, do exactly what he did yesterday. He was cracking into sights versus the world's best. Charging in now, Sanji's going to be able to finish what Jax has left. Now the site, they have access. The CTs are certainly present, though, and they're not rushing this bomb plant, understandably so. This is quite the dynamic. With 45 seconds on the clock, we've got somewhat of a retake setup. Amanek, however, catching everyone by surprise. He's actually managed to connect onto a Dren.
Yeah, they haven't planted yet. 1 player towards quad. That's going to be Lucky here. Dropping a smoke. Bit of self-preservation here. Kenny S encroaching from short as well. They've got themselves in a bit of a mess here. They haven't got any Molotovs or smokes to protect them from short. They've got to cross over toward that side. The bomb stuck towards Goose. Buster trying to fight out of this position. He does get 2. The bomb will be planted now, but still 3 versus 2. A slight chance still for G2 here, especially with Lucky getting in a fantastic position here. Has to dodge out flashbang and hits the shot. Sanji's low towards Goose. They could actually do this one, but Jay might save the day here. Shoxy waiting for his opportunity, but why would he peek with such low HP? Oh my goodness, the timing does come through. I think that will be it for Shox. He has got a defuse kit. Needs to find a very quick kill here. They're both so tantalizingly low, but they don't have to peek now. They know he has to get close towards the bomb site.
Yeah, Sanji, he's just been playing a game of survival. Oh, good connection from Shox. He knew that Sanji would have to swing just to get the info that he was going for it or not. So it will be the second for AVANGAR, but not particularly safe. I mean, look at how much that's cost them. There was AKs in play in Buster's hands, all of that gone.
With being the best of 3, there is a chance they force fight. This is the best of 1, I'd say they fully eco. The fact they get 4 kills there is a possibility they consider it. They could buy up again with the same sort of mentality, have Deagles once more. I don't think they will, considering it's like less than 3k per player. Shoxy will drop the scouts. He'll give that towards Kenny S and hold on to a Deagle. He's got the defuse kit as well. I dare say they buy a couple of smokes and bits of utility here. Just if they want to stack a certain position, they can at least smoke the mid doors.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you got to see Lucky's double kill there. He was a big part in the damage they managed to inflict.
Yeah, there's a smoke towards middle. So they're going to send 4 towards long and try and challenge with the scout. It was in the correct position there. Flashbang goes over as well. They will have full control of that position, but overall, AVANGAR very slow. They don't have to go for a long take here at the very start of the round. They want to feel it out, see what they're up against. Right now, it's 1 scout, save Deagle, and some P250s. Not really too much here. Kenny S, always dangerous in Dust 2.
Doesn't matter what weapon's in his hands. Ooh. James, is that deliberate? Smoke towards the mid doors, and there is somewhat of a gap underneath. Nice connection from Amanek. He's actually going to dart away as well. Buster is going to hunt him down. Kenny's the only man available to stop this B fight now, like he's fallen. Smoke will lock him out, and that should be the round, just like that. The scout completely nullified. I say that.
Is it?
Kenny through the doors. Should just be a consolation prize. The rest of formality. James on the window with his Mac 10.
I'm not sure. With the low HP of Sanji and Buster, they might be able to retrieve some weaponry here. They're not going to let them save everything, that's for sure. They'll go towards tunnels and presumably keep the pistol outside as well. Kenny S towards Shoxy's position. They'll stick together, see if they can cause damage on the exit. They're going to have to leave the B bomb site in general, Alex. They can't sit there. It's not like Inferno, you can sit in the pit. You do have to leave one way or the other.
There is that safe haven of where Buster stands currently. James, however, he takes the fight on tons. He's gone 2. Sanji, he's gone. Just the 1 versus 1. Kenny has an opportunity here. It's going to be a tough shot to hit. Connect. Has he got the time? Has he got the kit?
He has got the kit. It's going to be so close.
Right down to the wire. It looks like he's just short, just shy. No!
Worth it. 1 more second and he would have been there. That was so close. Like down to the milliseconds there. It looked like he had it.
I mean, if you just start breaking it down and realize if anyone had closed that gap just a little quicker, taken that fight just a little more cleanly.
But remember,
yeah.
G2 didn't force into that one. They actually just came in with that save Deagle and Scout and got some upgraded pistols after getting a few kills. So they're actually in a strong position now. AVANGAR will still have cash, that's for sure. 3-0 down, but Kenny S has his AWP. And sometimes G2 find themselves in positions where they can't actually get that weapon up for a while. So this is looking quite good now. James will have the AWP as well. Adren with the Mac 10, not Sanji. He's been given a weapon. He had a great performance yesterday against Liquid, posting on 25 kills, mid-table for a support player. That's fantastic work.
Certainly is. AVANGAR, yes, they win the 2 rounds off the back of the pistol, but they have 1 player saving his weapon over the course of those 2 rounds. I mean, that's certainly looking favourable for G2. Now the round is 2. Kenny catches Adren, but not able to drop a smoke. And now they have that numbers lead. It does look like what was going to be a short to long pinch. You can see Sandy's position there, beautifully highlighted by our observer. Lucky and Jax will be responsible for keeping that side of the map safe and sound.
Yeah, bit of a classic setup here towards long. Jax debating Lucky from the blue box. It's so commonly overlooked, it's almost criminal, but it's such a chaotic position.
Yeah.
If you see 2 players towards corner or pit, yeah, it's likely you'll overlook that spot. That's why it's so often used. We'll see if they can make their way towards the A side here. Kick out smoking towards spawn.
That's the one way.
Player down.
That's the big clan one way. Good way to peek towards the long side, and actually there is going to be a player there.
That's absolutely true. Look at that.
Kenny will fall off, so not going to be falling into any of those goofs and gaffs. Bomb's going to be walking. Push long with the CTs. That's going to nullify that. They can call it clear. Now focus all their attention towards the site. Well, the bomb going down, that's enough to wave the flag saying, come and get us. G2 have the numbers, but you know what? AVANGAR, they can totally lock this one down.
Good smoke as well. Kenny has got to struggle here. With James alive, and the fact he can jump up here. Maybe, oh my goodness, he did spot Kenny. You can see him communicating it. And this is getting tense now. This kill is massive. It will be lucky to find Kicker towards shore. What are the CTs up to now? Time ticking away. Retake coming in from spawn. Kenny S probing from long.
Shock's got the info with that jump peak, now pushing in, and look at that, G2, patience prevails. Just like that, with what felt like an eternity, eventually they show up to A and get the defuse.
Couldn't be more perfect, to be honest. Look at that. 4 players survive, get a comfortable defuse towards the end, and they've got a double AWP setup now, so they're right back on track. And remember, AVANGAR lost everyone in 2 of those rounds, so they actually don't have any money going forward now. Even the bomb plan, they're all set around $2,500. They're going to have to take an eco here. Can't even do a partial buy, Alex. There's not enough there to really justify it. And Sandy, if he gets both those kills, they probably win the round. So a nice push there. G2 realizing they've lost pretty much full control of short, need to reclaim territory. Talk about reactive play on Dust 2 all the time.
Yeah,
that's a prime
really cool.
example of it.
Really interesting to see.
You made a good point in saying, like, now they know long's clear. They don't have to worry about that position. Kenny S can freely explore his options up towards that long position and start pincering when his teammates coming in from CT spawn. Set up a nice flashbang too.
So the only real excitement surrounding AVANGAR's investment into round 5 is the Desert Eagle in the palms of Sanji. Double flash for Adren. It might just be a little burst into B. Ideally, you get the bomb plant and can lock them out with the scavenged weapons, but my god, a nade just landed right in the AVANGAR camp. Flashes out. There's a second one to follow it up, and Amanek, he's not going to be too worried just yet. Neither was Shots as they start to peek into him, just mowing him down. And they are going to keep him at arm's length. No chance of a plant, no chance of a round. It will be a nice and neat hold from the B players.
You saw Lucky's flashbang come in there as well. Really nice assist. I think he ended up getting 3 flash assists there, so that's not bad at all. Like I said, AVANGAR had to take the full eco there to even get a buy going forward. They're still at 2 players, Adren and Sanji, less than $4,000, but enough there for an AK and armor and a flash. That's about it.
I do think it's actually really, really fun to see the flash assist. It makes you realize just how long it's kind of crazy how long it took us to have them.
It was one of the best additions to the game.
It is glorious, especially when you can see that credit just right in front of your face. Lucky is Sanji, and oh my god, Sanji had his hand in front of his face. Still gets the burst. Will be traded by Jax, but Jax is paying quite the price for it. A bullet did connect into the dome. Perhaps through the wall.
Yeah, I think it was through the corner of the long. We'll see now if this 4-on-4 technically favours the T side, but maybe not so much when they only have a single smoke. We talked about reactive play. G2 really displaying a good understanding now, but James ready and waiting for it. If he gets 2 here, could be the round, and that's lovely work from Jax there. We knew he had 30 HP, checks that position, and it will be advantage G2. They'll have to walk in towards B. Buster will have to drop the dribble smoke towards the tunnels, and they'll have to make their way through with no flashbang. They could just go for a straight contact play here, considering they have nothing. This one's going to try and surprise Amanek here, but it's such a prime position. He's going to get at least 1 here. Nice jiggle peek, though. We'll see if Amanek can flash them off. Looking quite good right now, but they've managed to at least bust the B side open, and Kenny S doesn't hit a crucial shot there. Yeah,
talking of crucial, saving his smoke enables him to lock out doors. Yeah. Buster by walking in. He's given them a real shot this round. Now the numbers equalized by Jax. Kick it on the extremities. Now, though, it's all on the site. Kenny and Jax responsible for the retake. There is no utility to keep them at bay anymore. But Jax's HP, he was brought so low by James.
They've both gone tunnels now, meaning Kenny S will have to trade off Jax's 5 HP. Kenny will go first.
These slow retakes from G2, so effective in the round prior. Draw Adren's attention, and oh, just like that. Kenny had an opportunity. It was a very minute one. Instead, the lineup and the conversion. Great work from Adren. He gets 3 in the round.
Yeah, good work from AVANGAR in general. That was a difficult round for them. They go towards long at the start. It gets equal trade with no utility left over. Managed to walk in towards B there and somehow make it work. Kenny S missing out a couple of key frags. It looked like Jax had done enough with that kill towards James. Even there towards tunnels, you think it would be, but Adren, prime positioning, they had to flash out, and it was a little bit obvious as to where they were coming. He didn't even see two, just continued the spray and took down the low HP. Second CT there as we get into another buy for AVANGAR in general. Sanji just with the UMP, like we said, he'll always be quite selfless and have to use the lesser weaponry. Slow default here. Trying to work out what they're up against. Still the AWP for Kenny. Making his way towards middle now. 5 and 3. Good start for him.
That's for sure. It ended with something like 11 in their series versus Esports.
It was. And Dust 2 and Kenny S actually in decent form right now as well. That was disappointing.
Well, a chance at redemption then. Winner of this is off to the Mercedes-Benz Arena, the champion stage, joining rather an exclusive club at the moment, ENTS and NRG. Didn't think I'd be saying that coming into this week. I mean, those guys have really found form.
NRG look fantastic.
They do.
I was speaking to a few players last night. A lot of people believe that they could win the whole thing.
If they can maintain this form, undoubtedly. Jane fires the warning shot, does reposition, but Kenny's so smart. Manages to catch him without too much of a price to be paid. The flashes will force him back just a little bit, and now they swing into the site. This is full access for AVANGAR.
This is really nice discipline play from G2. We didn't see much of this yesterday, to be honest, but here's lucky. Oh, that
the same again.
Yeah, like they know what's coming. They have a very good understanding as to what the AVANGAR T side will be presenting when they take the A site. They've now taken down Sanji towards long. James already been removed. Kicker will pick up the AWP, trying to avoid flashbangs, but he eats it. CTs will cross over now, misses a crucial shot. Now he'll have to really deliver. Can he find multiple kills? He cannot. Adren will have to do it once again. He got 2 kills in the previous round. He'll have to go double that if you get a standard chance here. 4 in total required. Now a 1 versus 1. Amanek does have the kit. AWP now. And what is the play? Is he going for this defuse? Adren wants to close things out, but it's not going to happen. It's a close round, but Amanek will win it, no problem. A little bit tense there considering how positive that was looking for G2, but they managed to win the round all the same, and surely the money is in a fragile position for AVANGAR now.
That's another right down to the wire retake from G2. This is becoming somewhat of a trend. This is well rehearsed, well coordinated, and of course the mechanics of their individuals making it possible. But traveling as a pack, there's 3 players charging through long. Yes, you've picked up the AWP, but he's never going to hit more than 1. Lovely maneuvers from the French to enable them to find their 3rd.
They tried to deploy that same one-way we discussed before towards the CT spawn boxes. It actually missed that time. It looked like it was actually costing them a couple of frags. When there's smoke like that, that's vital toward you getting picks towards that long area. If it misses and it's not there, things become very chaotic very quickly. And he saw them trying to flash Kenny off. He was so turning away from them, getting flashed in himself, making sure he got the 1 kill, didn't go down, no trades were available, waiting for his teammates to rotate. They could focus towards the long doors at that point, take down Sanji, who was waiting for them. Speaking of which, he'll be on the pistol. Kick up. CZ. Sanji's got... Sanji... Okay, I was about to say, he's going Glock armor. He just dropped the pistol. He had got an AK in the end. I was about to say, that's insane.
That would have been comical. Full nades Glock armor.
Yeah. So, boy, same as CZ, dude. No, he's got the AK, so that's great. And they'll send 4 players towards the B tunnels here. Smoke down. Strong smoke as well. Not much you can do about that. They still have 3 smokes themselves on the AVANGAR side. Looking to steal momentum away. You can see why they forced war into this. If you look at the residual cash for G2, they know they're a breaking point. This is still a massive risk for AVANGAR, but it's not too bad overall. At 3 AKs, a scout, a CZ is serviceable. Especially with Kenny on the AWP, he can pounce on him. Looking to go for the B split right now. This has been a common trend in CT setups at this major, leaving middle completely open. 2 towards B, 3 at A. Here they go. The surprise play. It works out for 1. Make it a 2nd. That's round over.
Just like that. Bust into the site. Buster part of it as well. He's been an exceptional part of the AVANGAR project. Certainly here in Berlin.
They just weren't ready for that, were they? That's the benefit of having the surprise play like that. If it's sat towards the tunnels, you detect they've just thrown a bit of utility or probe towards one part of the map, is getting there together. If you hit that first shot, it's going to be very difficult for the remaining CT. If you get out of the initial choke point on the top right of your screens right now, it's one of the tightest we have in CSGO in terms of access to bomb sites, but they made it work. That was fantastic. Shoxy and Amanek didn't even see it coming.
And I imagine, you know, because the question I was about to ask you, but I feel like it's too stupid. Okay, well, I just wanted to understand, when they send 5 people to B so early on, is there not just a crazy risk that one CT gets a little inquisitive towards long, a little inquisitive towards mid, and they just suss it out?
Considering the money situation for G2, it's unlikely they're going to be pushing a position like long at the start of the round. AVANGAR were operating that well in the first 30 seconds or so. You're never going to go push outside long. You're going to have to be flashed out or get a serious bit of information.
So the sound cues at least.
Exactly.
Okay,
so your communication for your in-game leader especially, and your AWPer towards middle, just knowing what's going to happen there. Like if you spotted 3 cross from T-spawn towards B, or they're going up towards short, all their grenades are being deployed, that's when G2 can react. We talk about Dust too. It's all about information, and yeah, it's definitely a risk. There's always a chance, but on those sort of rounds, you know the money's tight for both teams. It's unlikely that G2 are going to be pushing all over the map.
And pushing is exactly what AVANGAR are doing. One side of the map to the other. Look at this. West side of Dust 2 the round prior, now in towards the east. And let's see. With that, and talking of aggression from mid, look at this. Jax and Shox have crawled all the way up middle. They're going to hold it. Stand vigilant for a moment. They could lock them in, especially if there's some resistance from Kenny here on this AWP. Smokes arrive, and so does this flank. It's going to be an interesting time, and Kenny, he has to find a window, has to find a couple of picks, because AVANGAR are flooding towards the A site. He misses his first. He's not going to be given a second, because he's shut down by Adren. Jax, however, on the charge. He does have support, but they're ready. The flash force is 1 off on the car. Adren's gone now. 3 now, plodding closer and closer towards getting that bomb down, but they're getting chipped away at. Just Sanji and Buster remain. G2 managing to make this look very difficult for AVANGAR, despite a great deal of control and access.
Jax encouraging towards the bomb site here, trying to deny the plant. It looks like that will go down regardless. Still a 4 versus 2. Sanji on top of the barrels right now, trying to use the smoke to his advantage. And they need kills here. They can't just sit back, and it will be Sanji back in there. But Buster can't do anything about it. Clean round there from G2. 4 players survive. Both teams are a breaking point there, but it will be G2 of 4 surviving. AWP in the hands of Jax now. Bomb defused. We've had some very intense rounds. G2 are more than happy to let them come on A and go for their slower retake there, really focusing towards long and making sure that area can't be taken over.
Is that something you've seen a lot of, playing for the retake on A Dust 2?
Some of the best teams will play like that, and it's like, if you look back to MIB on their prime, they were always doing that. They were always operating at the last few moments and waiting until everyone was absolutely ready so they could coordinate something fantastic. And these top players, they'll be able to time it well. They know when it's viable to continue to go for the bomb or not, but it seems like G2, they've pretty much had it spot on almost every single round so far, and they've had successful picks on that retake.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it felt like the win condition in that round was Kenny finding damage on long. The reaction actually from Jackson Shocks was where a lot of those frags came from. You can see Shocks' FAMAS, long range, just tapping away at Sanji towards those barrels. This is going to be a good game, Henry. I mean, just a recap of just how these rounds have gone. It's just gone AVANGAR G2, AVANGAR G2. The last 4 we're just going back and forth.
That's
tit
right.
for tat.
Yeah, not much separating them at all. It's Inferno next as well, so 2 strong maps for these teams, and it's round 10 coming up. Money is okay for AVANGAR. They have enough firepower. It's James and Sanji, though, have almost no grenades whatsoever, no helmets as well. I would say it's significant that these actually have 3 AKs right now and an AWP, so maybe not so much.
That's a really good point. My God, the scavenging's gone well.
So Kenny has changing things up a little bit here. Actually going to go for a peek towards long. We're seeing a lot of AWPers take this angle these days. Does he want to stay there by himself? Just going to be spamming the cards here, which made a paper mache on Dust 2.
Paper mache. God, I can't remember the last time. You remember coating a balloon in PVA glue?
That's my only experience with that.
Making a vase or whatever you called it.
That was terrible, but that was what we did at school.
Yeah.
In the UK, that was education.
That was education. Who needs to learn about taxes when you can cover balloons in glue?
Well, they have 3 smokes remaining here. There's another B split on the agenda.
What is the function of this smoke? That's the second time I've seen them throw it.
So it looks like it to be the one-way. That is actually wild. So it's a one-way, so you can see players towards the mid doors and actually get a bit of access and cover yourself towards short as well.
Not bad at all.
That's really cool.
So that's a right click and it gets locked just under kind of the bolt of the door.
I'm sure that's well known. It's the first time I've seen it in this sort of play. What is going on there?
It's a beautiful spray.
Yeah, it is. It looks like the black is blending into it. Anyway, it's all Kumiko. They're all lined up. G2 jumping at the bit to go involved. It's going to be Amine getting 2 from the back. The perfect weapon for the job as well. Bombs down, round over. AVANGAR trying to surprise that B bomb side again, but this time a little bit more tentative with their approach, and the smoke down as well made things very difficult. Shoxy, he's taking no prisoners here, Alex. He wants to take everyone down. They've got the money after this round to justify it, but it's a very strong position they found themselves in. Might not be worth the push.
Yeah, you can see James timed that smoke perfectly. He saw 15 seconds on the clock, knew that smoke would be there for the entirety of the save. No one going to be able to take a sight line to try and find Kickit or his partner in crime, James. And so they prevail. It's G2 with another couple of weapons for AVANGAR, but it's going to be peanuts alongside them.
Chad Burgill's confirmed to me that's not a one-way smoke. You can be seen, but it gives you a bit of access. A bit different, you know. But it's a really cool approach,
especially if it's something you're unfamiliar with. You don't necessarily know how to play around it. There's so many smokes players have seen thousands of times. Perhaps something a little different this time. Shox handling B with a smile on his face. Him and Amanek have been having no worries other than just the once.
It's happened. Sanji's got the Glock armor set up.
Yes.
They've gone for it.
The Sanji classic, the Sanji buy. Kickit, however, has managed to get himself up towards Molotov. Molotov? Let me try again. Molotov isn't going to land in the smoke. Now Lucky Jacks, they're just lining him up. And from B to A, it's a massacre no matter where AVANGAR have gone. Just James, left to his own devices to find 5. Catches a glimpse on 1, but that's likely all he's going to have a chance to pick up. He's going aggressive, wants to try and find shots, and presents his backpack now. Gives a swing and converts. A clean sweep for G2. Beautifully handled.
Yeah. Very clean, I have to say. Remember, we've seen lots of T-side landslides this tournament, and G2 CT has actually looked pretty weak on Dust 2. It's that T-side where they've thought, wow, this team's really legit. If they could sort out their defense, they'd be great. So now, this couldn't be better. They lost a pistol and had a 0-3 star here. It's not that they've been riding the momentum wave. They've been actually grinding these rounds out, and they've been really close, right down to the wire, and now they've got 3 in a row. Surely an eco on the cards here for AVANGAR.
Good morning, Alex.
Alex waking up.
Excuse me.
It's always fun when Alex is here.
You know, you never know what you're going to get.
Smashing around or beeping or coughing.
It's a real mixed bag.
Yeah, it's exciting. You never know what you're going to get.
Exactly. Let's see this one again. So Kickit, he did actually have an opportunity to find Lucky, but jumping through the smoke's not something he's ready to anticipate. And there he is. Lucky's a player that the analyst desk, when they're describing the stars of G2, they say, you know, Jax, Amanek, alongside Kenny and Shox, but they don't have, you know, necessarily expectations of Lucky. But it's certainly something within his wheelhouse, something he's capable of. And actually, here in Berlin, he has been a consistent fragging presence for them.
I missed smoke towards middle there, but it doesn't really have a massive implication attached to it, because as you can see, it's pretty much the eco from AVANGAR. They had no AWPers spotting towards middle. Even if they did spot 2 towards B, what are they going to do with that information? No grenades, no armor, trying to find some 1-digs, and most teams will head towards short, send 5 players up there, try and trade 1 kill. If you can find 1 frag, you're normally going to plant. And that's quite likely. Even with Glocks, no armor, you can find 1 usually. You've got Kicker holding towards upper B, presumably waiting for those reaction plays we've talked so much about.
Yeah, and there isn't a single Molotov actually on this A defense, so they wouldn't get any toasty toes should they start to commit.
Grenade, not too much.
And so here comes the Hail Mary, a run boost. Hard shot for Kenny to hit, does miss, and it was lucky though to profit from it. Morgan joining Kenny to close out their 12th round of play. Just bust up with his Desert Eagle. So can get him anything extra to bring into the next. It's not the case. Another clean one from G2. That's going to start really building up the bank, as they've strung together 4 now in a row of AVANGAR. That sacrifice of that round now enables them to come in hot into the 13th.
Round 13, G2 looking great here. Everyone's fragging, working well. It seems like they've really worked on the system here. Precisely. I have to say that the core engine of the CT side, they've got protocols now, they've got decent awareness as to long being a massive problem for them. They're reacting, they're pushing positions instead of letting themselves get pincered on the sites.
They got 2 CT rounds versus Mouse. They've got 7 already.
Yeah, this is much better, I have to say. It makes a lot of sense what they're doing. Well,
thinking man's Counter-Strike.
Back towards B we go. They found relative success there, AVANGAR, managing to pounce towards that B side on their force buy. With 3 AKs, a couple of pistols there, just running towards the B side. They're sending everyone they have towards the side of the map, but towards lower you can obviously gain access towards short as well. What's the play here? Bomb still making its way through the tunnels. 2 players in B. That's going to be Amanek wants to give it the AUG at the back of B. And then we have Shoxy, AK-47, who patrols middle from the same bomb site here, but you can see him just looking for information. Doesn't want the quick frag there, just wants to slow them down and call for rotation from the likes of Kenny S. But now they're making their way towards short.
Just on this lip of the site. Trying to find Jame, and draws the fire. Jame was the first to fire, though.
Yeah, he still has a smoke here, Kenny. He's not ready to use it just yet. He wants to get 1 and then lock them out.
That's the dream. So the combination of the 2 smokes, we know where that second one's going to go. Towards the CT boxes, the flash as well. We'll pull Kenny off for the initial. He might be able to catch them dropping, actually, from this angle. If they were feeling brave enough, and another follow-up, double pump, flashes him off. He can't catch it now. Instead, Lucky tags up a Dread towards the elevator. Can't quite connect on the pre-fire, and now Kenny's in a real spot of bother. They're going to be close quarters, and he knows it. It is where he thrives, though, and that's a quick start. Catches Buster through the wall, through the smoke. Not going to do the same to Sanji. AVANGAR, they have access to the A site now, but it is a little bit worse for wear. In the meantime, Kickit's going for somewhat of a beautiful flank.
Yeah, he's timed it so well, Alex. He is the thorn in G2 side right now. There's the shot. Amanek will be dropped, and that's a really nice play. That should be enough here. Lucky and Jax have enough money to justify it, but they'll have to find a Dread very quickly. Went towards CD Spawn, presenting nothing but his head. Both connect the shots there. It was such a close round. It wasn't clear as to who was going to win it, but Kicker with the flank from hell there, managing to get toward the B side, couldn't have timed it down to a second there.
We saw his POV, and you could see that they just left window as he started his walk.
It was so perfect. Very good awareness. manages to get down there, and it's such a great feeling. You go forward his B doors, you see 2 players in CT spawn, you know you've won the round at that point. As long as you hit those relatively easy shots, should be yours. Maybe AVANGAR with the AWP now. You're right.
He's been quiet, actually. Taking a look at his stats, you can see just 2 kills. That surprises me. On this T side, fast boost, and Kenny's at least going to get the information. That nade landed in Adren's gaming trousers pocket. Nice connection. That's going to be James' third. Can't quite find the double kill. But they have the numbers now, and they're going to look to try and extend that. The Molotov from Kenny, so aggressive. Loving to see this flare from the French AWP, but it's costing him. The Molotov and Adren catching him through the doors. Jax found just a moment's respite between the flames. Now AVANGAR falling off, realizing B is his domain. He has to be responsible for it. He's actually fallen completely off it. Wants to try and deal with the mid threat and jump straight into the jaws of James. There's more there. He confirms it.
Yeah.
Could be impossible for G2 at this point.
I think you might be right. If they can recover the double up setup here, that would be great. Just need to find one more bullet towards James.
He doesn't have to move.
He can't do it. Oh, that's got him. That's got him.
Bye. Not much more they can do about that one, though. Just taking James out. The consolation prize of AVANGAR, however, cracking into B. Does seem like finding those early picks, those early fights with G2 does tend to work out well for AVANGAR. The more passive those retakes, lending AVANGAR access to the site has worked out well for G2, but AVANGAR, when they just demand the fights, the rounds go their way. Keeping things incredibly level. This will be another for AVANGAR, keeping it 7-7, an even keel.
Yeah, only James to go down there. It's the final round coming up next. And G2 better off saving the AWP and having absolutely everything they need for the next round. Adren trying to remove that prospect. See if Jackson's saying he's going to beat this. They're going to be fine. So whatever happens, you taking 1 kill here won't change that. Might as well hold on to what you have. Well, round 15 coming up. Couldn't be closer. 7-7. Who will take the lead here at half-time? We thought it'd be the T side, but G2 have put up a compelling case to suggest they can actually do this now. We know this, their T side is where they thrive. It's where they do their best work. They're a lot more nimble, and they'll be the ones dictating the pace as well.
Interesting to call the tactical pause into this one. Malek on the microphone there, talking to Shox, of course, making the calls. And actually, for those of you who perhaps haven't been reading every single interview with every single player, there's so many, Shox was talking a little bit about his motivation and how he has been feeling a fire lit under him ever since he saw the successes of Vitality. He hasn't felt this motivation in years, was the word he used. That's plural, years.
He's been playing a long time as well.
Yeah.
Right back in the Source days, so it's not like it's his first rodeo.
Motivation back. You can see those frags from James. Gets the second here, and I mean, AVANGAR, he was trying everything in the book, trying to jump into the line of sight.
Here we go, final round, and we like to see full buys in these situations. Double AWP set up. Shoxy and Kenny S might be doing this on the T side as well. One of the few teams that like to operate in that manner. Kenny S, balls of steel, pushing in towards those B tunnels now, feeling like he can get an opening pick here. It's Buster though, great position to shut this down.
Oh, Kenny, he's ready to take that fight. He stands there still. Now AVANGAR can push on it. Buster's gone. He has the support.
You can see Buster's eyes light up. They think, oh, Kenny's missed a shot. I'll swing out and get him. That's really nice. In fact, AVANGAR's there just to back him up and don't even have to trade that kill.
I mean, the one downside of close quarters AWPing is if you miss that first, that bolt costs you your life often. Not if you have the support of a teammate there ready to contest. Nice work.
He was ready for the swing as well. He didn't really have to do much with that. The T just thought, oh, I've got a free kill. Didn't really go down like that. And that's a pick they kind of needed as well. You see Jax and Shox, barely any utility at this stage. So that's a nice opening frag. Hasn't cost him anything. It can still justify having 3 players towards A. It'll be Shoxy, remember, that secondary AWP watching. But their flashbangs have been very good on the AVANGAR side. But opting to maybe not use them so much here, but the grenade will punish them. Here comes the flashbang from Shoxy, looking to mow them down here.
So far, AVANGAR yet to commit. Just trying to get away in. Lucky instead cuts them down to size. Shox extends it. Looks like G2 poised for 8. Sanji and Jane, they've already been tagged. Should be an impossible task. Remaining nades deployed.
Yeah. Flashbangs just thrown for the sake of it at this point. There's nothing that can be done. 5 versus 1. Jane with 10 seconds remaining has to try and do whatever he can. It's not going to be much. 8-7.5. G2, they do look like they're ready for this one. And Dust 2, they have turned up in buckets and spades. Everyone's fragging, contributing, and usually a weak CT half is presented by them as looking anything but today. AVANGAR have got their work cut out from the second half. We'll see you after this break.
8-7 on the half first map, best of 3. Winners off to the Mercedes-Benz Arena. Bringing you the commentary, my name is Machine, I'm joined by Henry G, and this is an intriguing game. AVANGAR coming into this one as already taking the hugest scalp. I mean, their run, they bested Team Liquid, no less.
Yes.
You have to remember that. A fall to Ents early, but Vertigo versus Renegades, and of course that Overpass game versus Team Liquid has put them here.
Liquid today, battling against North in the 1 and 2 games. That's going to be an absolute banger.
I mean, that could be such a bitter pill for North to swallow. It eliminated in their 3 losses by Vitality, Mousesports, and Team Liquid, respectively.
Yeah, they've had a rough run.
It's been a tough one.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, G2, we've casted plenty of their long approaches on these T-pistols before. It looks like they're going against that right now. It's going to be a pretty French approach, I have to say. One smoke in towards B, a flashbang towards the cubby, and his kicker to defend. He dodges the flashbang well, and he gets back into his teammate. Look how blind they are, but still finding damage here. It's Jack to open things up. Sanji, he threw all his utility already, and Shoxy will be finding the rotation frag. It looks like this one is a very simple and convincing finish here.
Yeah, I don't want to be too predictable. Of course, the signature move towards long not coming out from G2.
Yes, a lot of teams are using that pistol round these days, just getting the long control, double smoke the crossover. G2 definitely mixed it up. They were aware, people knew what they were doing, but this time completely different, other side of the map. And we will see Jane with 14 HP, Buster, he'll be outside the B side, but they've got no kit and 4 kills to find. They're trying to contain the G2 players here.
Jame off to save his Kevlar. Buster's just trying to take a couple of members of G2 down and out as best he can. He was capable of dueling with his full HP. Just the one. There's an opportunity for a second here. And away at those heads.
The bullets, they go right through that guard. Either way, they're going to hunt him down. Make sure Jame doesn't have any armor, because he's going to get a scout next round, almost certainly. And it's a pretty decent buy. He's already got the Kevlar. Bring the scout out. We're seeing pretty much every map now. Second round force buys come in. They've had so much success here. Very difficult to fend off.
Yeah, I mean, it has been map dependent. There's a couple exceptions to the rule, but actually for now, James opting for a bit more of a hesitant buy. Just going to be the CZ surrounding his Kevlar and the Vanguard. They're playing it for the main weapons. They want to get into those buy rounds. 2 MAC-10s as well for the French. They're going to use. They've been using them. I think they are top of my list for teams using the power of the SMG to its full potential.
Yeah, I think you're right, especially Amanek, and on Dust 2 as well. He can work the long position with MAC-10 and take down riflers. It's kind of bizarre.
It really is. Still, investigation towards doors doesn't render too much. Starting together. Unarmored, unequipped. Round 17, surely a formality.
Especially with the setup they've got right now on the GT side. 5 players towards short, no risk of anyone giving much away at all, apart from if Shoxy gets dropped. Luckily, he only gives away the MAC-10. They've taken another dink here as well. This is getting a little bit hot under the collar for the G2 boys here, but it looks like they're fine. The smoke there should buy them enough space.
Well, boost. That's info on at least where another one's coming from. They can work off of that. The smoke has kept them at bay towards short, and so, yes, the double digits for G2. Good catch, though, on the descent. It's something, but...
Well, they got the most important target of them all. G2 take down the only player that had armor there. And the CZ, bear in mind. So, Kenny S looking to farm some extra cash here, but 3 players towards short, trying to catch anyone on the exit. Not going to find it. Sanji makes his way in, see if there's anything to find. Doesn't really matter, they're dying on here, to be honest. Wouldn't even count the death into the bomb blast, so there we go. Now going to get into the next round, and we'll get the AWP out for James. So this is what they really want to focus on.
They crunched the numbers, they were like, yeah, I can take this easy.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of the strongest units they have, you know. Jane with the AWP, it's Dust 2, synonymous with sniping, so it's good to see them actually focusing on that. They could have forced ball that second round, but it could have really made things difficult.
Like a downward spiral,
yeah, exactly.
Right?
That's what normally happens with G2, to be honest, on their CT side. They'll buy up in that second round, maybe get it to what they want, not win it, and then they just have to go in for the first gun round of 5 M4s, maybe an SMG, and then they never really get back on their feet. So it does make sense. Going to see a bit of a tactical timeout here. Yeah. Malik just trying to keep everyone's head in the game. Don't get carried away. G2 are certainly guilty, even at this tournament, of having massive leads and then kind of taking their eye off the prize, you know, not playing to their full ability, maybe being overzealous at times. So he wants to make sure everyone's focusing, not giving anything away. This is a massive round for them. And the MAC-10 and Scout both very viable. You can see James, no armor whatsoever. And same story for Adren. He's got no armor and a FAMAS. This is a rough one.
Oh, this is a strange one. Okay.
I assume he had to drop the AWP, and James gave back.
I mean,
FAMAS, but he hasn't got armor too, so maybe not. This is just a difficult round
see
for
if
him.
it costs him. I mean, he can play that headshot angle, I suppose, up against the AKs, but it's not just AKs present.
Yes, he just wanted the kit. He needed to have at least one there.
Saw G2 playing for that retake oh so much. Kit's a crucial component. It's our second half first map, and we are into the first buy round of our second half. Procedurally going to clear and garner control of short. That nade could be perfectly timed as the flash arrives. So does the nade, and all three of them have some damage that they'll be limping with for the rest of this round. How much more time will we see, though, of this round? 50 seconds and not a body drop just yet.
Yeah. 2 flashes remaining on the CT side. 2 players with armor. 2 of our helmets.
They're doing the mid-take. You get the doors control. Hope for a CT extension for info.
Usually 2 smokes here. 1 on the CT floor and 1 on the box to Sanji's right. So we could have a single one here, and doesn't seem to matter. Great shot from Jack just as the smoke blooms there. He'll make his way through, and this is looking clinical. It's going to be a B-side open. Remember, they haven't really got any resources to even think about going for this retake here. Jane?
Neither of them have armor. You're not doing a no Kevlar retake.
That's a good point. Adrenaline is finding the AUG, and there we go. Just in case anyone wasn't aware, you cannot pick up armor off anyone's corpse or anything like that. You have to buy that yourself. So have $650 for the Kevlar vest, or you can get a combo deal with the helmet for $1,000.
Wow.
Very reasonable if you ask me.
You a salesman? You ever done that?
I've worked in supermarkets before, so I suppose so.
My
maybe.
dad told me recently, this is like a whole new information for me. He used to sell vacuum cleaners door to door.
How did that go from?
I mean, I don't really understand that idea. Like, are you just knocking on a stranger's door going
Everyone's
like...
got a vacuum cleaner. You're never needing one, are you?
Precisely. Like, hi. So I know you've got one already, but...
I've got a
like your money.
similar one.
Sure. This one sucks better.
Oh, dear, James. No saving of the orb this time, Alex.
Yeah, and that, I mean, that's significant. That's significant when you look at the fact that they're already 11 for G2. Any additional resistance that AVANGAR could have presented into round 19 would have been crucial. Instead, let's watch that again from Jax's POV, just as the smoke plumes. Look at that.
That's perfect. It couldn't have been timed better. Ooh, not quite the full smash there. We've seen a few of them. But yeah, when you see that smoke coming in, you're repositioning, you're getting ready to react and maybe push through it. Oh, the grenades don't do any damage. Shoxy somehow gets away with that.
That could have been his life. Now they've barraged left into long, and already Buster's managed to catch one. There's so much more. They're swinging, they're moving targets. AVANGAR with just the pistols have already took 2. Jack's looking to stabilize, but Adren, he peeks just as the nade is in his grasp. Kenny's with the USP, and this round has been chaos. James, he's left with very little opportunity, though.
That kill was everything. If Kenny goes down there, it's going to be a 2 versus 1, and they'll recover an AWP. It would, and hit Kenny at the bomb. Bear that in mind. It was really down to that 1 kill with the USP. Shoxy just about to beat the first unit. The third caught him at the end, but still, that was a little bit touch and go, but they win the round. That's all that really matters as we go into a double AWP setup, and normally indicative of a situation that is falling apart on the CT side. If you've lost 4 rounds in a row and you go straight into double AWP setup, meaning like you need to chain things up, Kenny's got the best long spawn you can get. He will be taking this for sure. He's not the sort of player that gives up this sort of opportunity. It's a difficult shot, especially in today's game with the incendiaries and flashbangs that have been thrown over. But let's see what if he wants to get fully committed here. He gets all the way out. Didn't see it coming, and he hits Adren as well. But he's got to be 41 HP, very vulnerable to utility, but no HEs available on the CT side.
Completely unpunished for that. Manages to escape. That will keep the CTs busy, at least while the smoke is still there. They might have to clear the corner. Let's not forget 2 AWPs in play.
Yeah, Sanji goes down. Adren tagged down to 5 HP. He currently sits in the pit. I can't believe Kenny
knife out
gets there and hits a shot through the corner of the blue box. Gets away with it. If they had HEs, he was done for. But they didn't. This is a pretty underwhelming buy overall. No kits again. 1 flashbang remaining. We haven't got to the 1 minute mark yet. This is G2's round to give away at this stage. If they just commit with a slight execution, there shouldn't be much of a pushback here.
I think I'm going to have some deja vu. Same smoke.
There's the second as well. That didn't quite land where it was supposed to go, but it seems like it wouldn't have mattered. Kicker boosted with Adren. You get the first. Adren's got a great spot here. Should be able to get at least one.
Kicker's going to try and fill that fire. He's already done all the hard work. Don't need him. Don't need the support of your teammates. Admittedly, 2 members of AVANGAR are low, but it's down to AMANEK, and Kenny finds the first. Aggression from Kick, it's punished, and oh dear, just like that, 5 seconds pass, and we're back to a 2v2. The numbers lead just disintegrates before AVANGAR's eyes. Buster and Jane with the AWPs, no less. This round just went from a guarantee to quite the contrary. Now another for AMANEK, catches him towards CT. Buster, they know where he is. The bomb, admittedly, is a bit awkward for G2 to retrieve, but he's trying to reposition, trying to catch an opportunity to make this a 1v1, and he's out of it. Scarpering towards A. They're going to leave Kenny to try and close the gap.
Wow.
That's AVANGAR's chance back into the CT side here, Henry.
That was strange from a decision-making point of view. You don't really know where the T's are. You've got a desperate situation in terms of the buy. You've got a 4-on-2 situation. You're pushing with 2 players around the map. Like, what was the call there? Why would they fully commit off that? There was no bomb down.
Misinformation, perhaps.
It was chaotic. They didn't have to be pushing like that.
It's because they actually had the bomb, right? It was Kicker who killed the mid-aggress.
He had full control there.
Yeah,
and the only reason that Brown could fall apart is if you present kills, and they didn't even have to work for them. They were just given them.
Yeah, AMANEK, he was thanking his lucky stars. He's just got his gun out. Suddenly there's a player running towards him with low HP and a knife in his hands. And so G2 Esports grab themselves their 13th.
It looks like a lock-in. I've got to say, well, that round's done. They've done such great work with that boost towards CT spawn. They've pushed through that smoke. There's nothing to be done here. G2 will have to save.
The perfect counter to the mid-take.
It was looking so good, and that might be it, to be honest. Like, I'm not sure this is recoverable now. James keeps the AWP, of course, but overall, this is where it shouldn't. Look, the bomb goes down there. Why does Kicker push towards middle and Adren follows it up as well? That's one of the most challenging angles for a CT player to ever face on Dust 2, is going through towards those mid doors, and he just gives himself up, unfortunately, and they're not going to fully invest here. Kicker will buy what he can, and Jane will find the first pick. That's the saved door, but at least they know exactly where it is now, but he'll want to reposition as Jax waits for the push.
They're going to get channeled in towards this stack. Look at them, they're charging. Jax, though, he can do so much damage. Close quarters, only the first. That's a rifle, that's a frag, but that's a boatload of information. James AWP, they know it was on long.
Yeah, but what do they do with this now? Because James, they know he can hit shots by himself, and he has to actually miss a couple here. Down he goes up to Lucky to try and recover this. AK-47 outside of B, and Lucky, he'll think better of it. Falls back. They managed to win a 4-on-2 before. Can they go? Similar results here with Shoxy towards the A side. 3-on-2 against them. He's waiting for a rotation towards A, and this could actually be the play that saves the round.
Yeah, and the Molotov as well, just to stop any pushing while that bomb goes down. Sends Adren towards short, where the more flames arrive. Courtesy of Lucky's flame in a bottle.
Oof, they're gone. No kits. Shoxy to patrol long doors, and Adren's there. He probably won't detect this, but Shoxy looks away for a second, cost him his life. Lucky now, 2 versus 1 clutch. Adren has the Molotov.
He's been the MVP so far. Top fragger for the French squad.
No kits, remember.
Has to find 2 already. They find him out. They suss it out, and Adren makes up for his error in the previous and catches a big connection onto Lucky. The defuse will come in from Sanji. The AWP will be retrieved by Adren in the meantime. And AVANGAR, my goodness, I mean, that was a necessity if they want to try and close this gap.
Yeah, they had the AWP kick actually fully invested as well. There it is, right down to the wire. Most players will play with the music command, so you can hear when the 10-second warning comes in, the music will start playing in your headphones. So if you haven't heard that music yet, you can actually go with the full defuse. You're normally pretty confident getting those defuses in. Round 22, double AWP setup. AVANGAR avoid a disastrous situation there, managing to win a very big round with not much at all.
Saving those AWPs as well, grand scheme could be big. That looked funky, didn't it?
It did look weird.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not just losing my mind.
I was like, what? Looks a bit odd.
Yeah, it's like he's got kind of a weird, like, binoculars. Or
something was going on there.
Okay, good. Still, let's see if AVANGAR can keep the G2Ts at bay. Access to short given for free. Very little utility had to be used for that one, but James, he's going to try and fire a warning shot, realizes that he wants to try and follow that up with some nades, and that one lands on the dome of all 4. Just good distribution of damage. He's going to have Adren to support him as well. So the default 3-2 split something Henry's been talking about a lot, and I'm learning here in Berlin. People foregoing that mid control. Shox, however, has already managed to get himself in towards CT. The smoke does enable him to tuck himself in, and now pressure's about to be applied to B in a very big way. Sanji does have the support of Buster. It has to be more than one. It's not even one. The no-scope, it's really starting to look bleak for Sanji. He's going to get caught as well. Shox towards CT finally pays dividends. Just kick it. G2, great connections, pulling a AVANGAR around this map. Leaves kick it towards doors.
Well, there we have it. Just to know, we have James, Buster, and Sanji all on 0 utility damage at this point, and that's going to be a main talking point. That's Adren with 125 after that one grenade. I think he was on 0 as well until that point. So their utility usage hasn't been fantastic. They've had effective flashbangs, that's for sure, but in terms of raw damage done, hasn't been that fantastic. It's going to be Kicker looking to steal a couple of kills away here. AVANGAR should be able to take him down. That's a great shot towards C-spawn. He will survive. But still, money is not going to be great here. It's a loss bonus to be back to 4th stage. Luckily, he saves 1 M4. They've got a pretty decent buy overall, considering they just lost that round.
Oh, that's
Why?
Costly.
Just had to survive that one.
You see players do this often, where it's like the round's over, you've been doing your saving. The last couple of seconds, you just kind of unload your clip, just in almost in frustration. That was a wallbang attempt from Kicker, and this one cost him.
Yeah. They can still buy,
traces.
But it was going to be decent before. Now there will be compromises. Kicker going to drop the rifle, plug the holes of Buster, who's got $3,200, I believe. He goes for a UMP. So they still get the 3 M4s, 1 AWP, but no kits again. Sanji will limp into the round with just a Kevlar vest. Does get a bit of utility, 1 smoke, flash, and an HE. James going to have to go for the opening pick again, though. This kick-up does take some resources away from G2, but the fact he went down at the end is going to be a little bit frustrating for him, but still.
Shrugged it off.
There's enough here to make this round possible. Kenny hasn't been popping off in Dust 2 the last couple of outings we've seen from him. Oh, that's not bad, though. He does hit Buster on the cross, down to 13. That's one of the most frustrating ways to start a round.
Yeah, you just start getting yourself into the zone, realizing you've got to really start creating quite the exceptional comeback, and then you get your wings clipped on the cross. There are 3 CTs leaning towards B, one of them, of course, hindered by Kenny's connection. Now they once again try and piece this puzzle together on the T side.
Well then, G2, a little bit of presence towards B. AVANGAR just throwing in a smoke before he goes and joins his teammates. They've got short control. Bomb's making its way back towards long. That's on the back of Lucky. James in position though. He has a flashbang remaining. They have 1 smoke overall on the CT side. Another very difficult situation for them. Flash presumably set up by Kenny here for Lucky to get out. Jack's happy to go first, it seems. So he's going to flash through the doors. We'll see if James gets affected by this. He's in a decent position not to, but he still misses the 2nd shot of the round. He had a shot towards Kenny top of middle not so long ago.
Andrea has to be the hero on short. If he gets 2, it's doable now. James in a real
he's done
pot of hot water.
He needs to get at least 1 here.
Got no health, no chance. Surely pushed. Jax, there was a Molotov there if he didn't connect the bullets, but he's done it. Flash forces Sanji off, and G2, they are looking clinical on their take off this side. Kicker trying to change things. It's only the attacks onto AVANGAR as he keeps short safe, keeps that bomb plant completely covered. Jax does it as well. G2, their map pick, they're going to be having map point on their map pick.
Remember, Buster got tagged at the start of the round as well. There's nothing he can do about this.
Just has to accept it. Inspect it. I want to see this AK up close. I might have to grab myself one of those.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah, pretty.
It's a bit much for me.
Yeah, well, I do. You're right. It is a bit much for me, perhaps.
It looks like someone's vomited on the AK into sort of neon paint.
Yeah, okay. Whose vomit is that?
Okay,
Like someone from Sesame Street? Like
yeah,
Big Bird's vomit?
Yeah,
Okay.
you know, like an Elmo.
Yeah, oh, an Elmo, sure. What was the name of the guy from In the Bins?
Oscar the Grouch.
Oscar the Grouch.
Yeah, he was my favourite, actually.
Yeah, I liked
him and I got a lot in common.
I was more of a City and Sweep guy, but...
I like City and Sweep too. I'm not sure many of our viewers will be aware.
You're right, I should stop doing that.
But that was a great show.
It was.
I've got a picture of me back home, live on stage.
You didn't meet them, did you?
I got to meet them.
You met City and Sweep?
Yep, at the actual Live in the flesh.
That's insane. Henry, don't spoil things like that.
Sorry.
Come on.
Anyway, could be the end of this first map here. G2 have put their best foot forward. This has been a fantastic performance by them. AVANGAR haven't played particularly bad. It's just been shut down. There's been a couple of poignant mistakes, I have to say, with the 4-on-2 situation where they pushed way too aggressively. But apart from that, it's been a relatively okay game for them. AK safe in the previous round in the hands of Buster. A couple of MP9s. No orb to fall back onto.
Shadows of themselves from the day prior. AVANGAR have not put up too much resistance on the second half.
Nice work from G2, baiting out the utility. A key incendiary does nothing. James, a lot of trouble here. And there's the first kill, but
it's always Jax.
It's such a decent trade there. Sanji with the MP9. He could do damage here, but it's going to take something remarkable.
Multi-kills just seem to be in his repertoire. That was a little shaky from Kickert. Does manage to make good on his promise. 2 there. Kenny having quite the close shot, but Buster's investigations, his aggression from B.
He was spotted, I think. The way they reacted and stopped.
He's just going to walk up mid. This is brave from AVANGAR. He's using all that information to the very best of his advantage. Yeah. This could be a problem for Buster.
Yeah, I'm almost sure they spotted him here, but who will get the timing correct? Oh, he's outdoors. There it is, Buster. Nice. We'll be getting them in a very advantageous position. 30 seconds here. Kenny pretty much has to stay in this position now. It'll have to be a quick scope now. If he clicks into the scope at all, he will be taking never. Buster's got him. Regardless, nice work from AVANGAR. They deny the victory, at least for now. They'll be able to recover an AWP outside the B bomb site as well. So there we go. Still one more round for G2. 6 in a row required from AVANGAR. They have no timeouts remaining.
2. That's their second round on this defense here on Dust 2. We talked about G2's T side and what we expected of it. Well, they've certainly delivered there. That was the Kickert's initial pick. You see, he catches Jax as well. He was the main reason this round looked oh so easy for AVANGAR.
I think he was committing towards A while his team was getting ready to go B. He was hoping the MP9 would be there and hopefully get valuable information, but the rifle taking him down didn't really do too much. AVANGAR trying to run up with the MAC-10 here. He makes it work again with such little HP. He takes down Kickert towards the pit, who managed to get multiple frags in the previous round. It's a difficult buy here from G2, but now Shoxy can presumably go get that rifle towards the pit position.
He had no health by the time he was taking that fight against a better weapon. Still, he prevails, denying all the odds with that SMG. AVANGAR 10.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's his sticker. The guy's a meme. He's clever. I saw his tweet as well.
I didn't see that.
He tweeted out the Counter-Strike wiki of the counter-terrorist side.
Wow.
With the defuse the bomb as the last statement. Counter-terrorists intend to use kits to defuse the bomb.
Yeah, well, they'll want to forget about that moment.
They were doing their research coming into this one, and that was no problems for them. But now on the attack, of course, sacrifice made for Shox. They've had access to Long for so long, ever since that SMG delivery of AVANGAR, and pushing for information. Adren, he's flashed in and sees shorts clear.
It's still an M4A4 in the pit. They've got a Galil and a Deagle, so they want to go pick that up, surely. Shoxy's walking by.
That's a very good point.
There's an M4 in the pit, boys.
Let's see if it comes back to haunt them.
There's an M4 there. Go get it.
This is what it's like playing with him. Oh, and a failed smoke.
Oh, no.
Oh, G2, we said, can get a little shaky towards the closing stages of their games. Now, Jane will be forced off, and they won't do too much, but AVANGAR with 15 seconds left. They just have to post some resistance. James tagged. Nice work from Kenny. That's going to be enough to force him back. Let the bomb go down. Planted for long. Jump from Sanji does tag up Shoxy. Again. Oh my god, he's peppering him. But AVANGAR, they're losing their chances. Players dropping left and right. Sanji's gone, as is Adren. Just Buster and the tagged up James. Pushing forward ramp now. Should be the fight on Jax. He's so consistent to win those duels. A third to be found, not for him today. Instead, James going to be peeked out by Kenny, and that will be G2 picking up the first in the series.
They don't need your rifles.
They don't
want to use those dirty weapons. They're going to hold on to their Deagles, make their way towards A, and it's a convincing finish there for G2. Didn't have to break a sweat towards the